Why Yoko? What drew you guys here versus other communities in this area? Anyone want to take that one? Oh, I'll go. Okay.
Hello. So my name is Aga. I'm an entrepreneur. We bought very early on, and there was a point about 2 years ago where we were searching for home. I've been traveling the world full time for the last 15 years, been a nomad, and it's been a great adventure. But there was definitely a point where we were like, it's time to have a home somewhere, and at that point, working remotely means we can go anywhere in the world, and what a privileged position to be in. But we didn't know where to go, and all our friends were all over the world, very spread out, and we literally made a spreadsheet with all the places on Earth that we could think of that would be really, really good for us, and we made a list of criteria, anything from healthcare, taxes, residency with investment, great place for co-working, and the top of that list was community. So when we, after we made that list, probably two weeks later, we sent an ad for Yoko, and we were like, wow, this could be it. But before we committed, we searched for any other communities around the world like that, right? We pretty much wanted to be around entrepreneurs. We didn't want to compromise, not seeing our friends, not being around entrepreneurs in the community, and we couldn't find anything else. We looked at Tulum, Bali, any other developments like that, and we have not seen anything like this. And I think we're just at the very beginning of that. But that was one of the biggest reasons why we came down, we fell in love, and now Yoko feels like family. And we got to bring our friends with us, which is pretty awesome. And meeting all of you guys, and this dream is slowly coming true. So yeah, that was one of the big reasons.
It's been a good journey so far. The last couple of years, really, yeah. What made you take the leap of faith when it was just an idea? Anyone want to take? Oh, Connor.
Hi guys, my name is Connor. Aga's partner, and my background is in tech with Airbnb and Apple, primarily in Asia. So like Aga said, we were looking around after being nomadic, or at least all over the world for a few years. And as soon as the kind of travel ban was lifted, we came down and explored Costa Rica and came here and met Laurent and his team. And to be honest, we've been all over the world, and we fell in love with Santa Teresa right away. So that was a good step. But it was really, meeting Laurent face to face and walking the property when there was nothing. There was no infrastructure. There was pretty much just a hill of jungle, and Laurent is saying like, "Oh yeah, there's going to be lots over here, lots over here, lots over here, and yeah, which one do you like?" And I was like, "Okay, let's walk them." And it just the genuine feeling you could get from Laurent about the property and his vision, and it was coming true step by step. And yes, it takes time. Yes, it takes a lot of hard work, but it is coming to fruition, and I could just feel that in the way that he spoke about Yoko, and the way that he spoke about the community he already had, the Lucky Six. We came shortly after that. So it was a leap of faith, but I really connected with Laurent, the Santa Teresa, and just buying into the vision that this is going to become a reality. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be bumps in the road. Not everything is always going to be perfect, but we're getting there. And 2 years later now, our house is going to be ready in a few months in Yoko North. And we also decided to buy a property in Yoko South for later down the road, maybe a dream home situation down the road. And it was really just that connection to Laurent, his team, getting to know everyone. How often can you say you meet someone face to face, and you know the developer, the architect. Mauricio has been an amazing partner with us. Minerva, the CFO. You can talk to these people face to face, WhatsApp them. That personal connection really built that sense of trust for us, and that's what allowed us to take that leap of faith into Yoko North and also to Yoko South, and now here we are 2 years later.
Good stuff. All right, and now on to a little less softball questions, because obviously we're dealing with any kind of real estate development. There's going to be tons of risks, several types of risks. So what risks did you consider, and how did you mitigate them? Jason.
It's almost as if we planned to take these questions. So there's a lot of risks. I mean, at the end of the day, it's still kind of real estate prospecting. And so from my background, I'm a turnaround CEO. And the first thing we did was look at the numbers. We took a look at what's real estate right now renting at, what is for this area, for other areas, for other similar areas up and down the coast, in other similar kinds of areas in the world. We took a look at all of those different numbers, and then we cut everything in half. We said if there's tons more inventory on the market, what happens if we get half the price there? And at half the price, we're still doing great. And so that was the first thing that we did. The second thing we did was we called up our accountant, our tax attorney, our regular attorney, everybody, and we looked through what is the tax implication of this? How is this going to affect our taxes? And then finally, I took the most successful step that I've taken in any real estate investment. I called my real estate muse. She has made millions and millions and millions of dollars in real estate. And every single time I've made a great decision in real estate, it has been because she's been there and she's taken a look. And in fact, there was one specific time, we were buying a property in Atlanta, Georgia. I remember going in and she took a look. She said, "I don't need to see it. Buy it right now. Put a payment on it right now, right this second, sight unseen." And we made a pile of money on it. She came here. She came here with me. We looked all across. We met with business owners. We talked to different people here. We talked to, some of the hotel owners. We talked to some of the restaurant owners. Obviously, we talked a lot to Laurent. We talked to Mauricio. And then we went and we looked at the property, and she came out and she said, "Look, you're going to make a fortune on this. I think you're going to do great." She said, you can look at the town. She had examples of previous investments that she had done where a town was at the position that it's at right now and in a tourism area and what that's going to look like in the future, and gave me several examples. And by the way, for those of you who do know this person, this is my mom, Rochelle. And she, like I said, she has made millions and millions of dollars on real estate. And once we had the taxes down, once we had the finances down, once we had a good financial model for it, and once she took a look at it, I said, "Cool, let's do it." And that was how we mitigated risk, or at least a few of the steps we took.
Awesome. Quick follow-up, though. Yeah. Quick follow-up, though. You're purchasing an investment without the titles right now. So how are you navigating that? How does that make you feel, knowing that the property owners are taking care of all of that, using your money and the whole process? Anything to add on that?
It's still real estate prospecting. I mean, you're still look, there's a risk in whatever you're doing. At the end of the day, I think that you're going to make a pile of money on this. If you look at other similar investments in this area, they're easily 2-3 times as much money for the land. If you just take a look at the land, and so when we took a look at all of that together, we were like, okay, looks good, yeah, no problem. And then also, meeting with the team, meeting with Laurent, talking to people. We do a lot of investments in other small and medium-sized businesses. You're investing in the team. And we felt like we were investing in the team here. We were investing in Laurent. We were investing in Mauricio. And we were investing in Jeffrey. If anybody has not met Jeffrey, I highly recommend sitting down and talking to Jeffrey. So after talking to all these guys, we felt really good about it.
Awesome. All right, moving right along. How does Santa Teresa and YokoVillage fulfill your personal and professional needs? Oh, over here. It's Kat, right? Okay, just making sure.
My name is Kat. For personal and professional needs, Aga and Connor, actually for all of us, we've been friends for a while. And so similar journeys. I've been traveling around the world for the better part of the last 7 years. I spent most of the time in Asia between Chiang Mai, Thailand, Bali, Indonesia, floated around Europe for a while. And all throughout this, I was looking for community, looking for a place where I could really find my roots. And I struggled a lot with that. Some places I thought this could be my home, but logistical and legal reasons. As an American, I can't purchase property in some other countries, a lot of other countries actually. Residency was always going to be an issue. There were all of these things that kept kind of piling up when I was trying to find that one perfect place. And Costa Rica, Santa Teresa has really checked all the boxes, all the things that I was struggling with before, I was able to find here. I'm an artist, and so I paint with watercolors, I create digital illustrations, and I license that to companies like Target. So if you are putting wallpaper in your home or picking out throw pillows at Urban Outfitters, like maybe I design those. And I get a lot of my inspiration from nature and from traveling, and a lot of my portfolio is botanicals and leaves and greenery. And so just being here and being surrounded by nature and animals has been a huge creative inspiration for me. And I feel so grateful for that. And then going back to the logistical things, working in Asia with American clients is really hard. I take all my calls at like 3 a.m, and that burns me out. So being on the same time zone as my clients has been just one easy thing to make my life so much smoother and so much easier. Being a quick flight away from my parents. My dad he turned 71 this month. They both came to visit me in Indonesia a few years ago, and when they got off the flight after traveling for 32 hours, I realized that was probably going to be the last long-haul flight for my parents, at least flying, economy. And being somewhere where I can have my family come down and visit me, it's, I'm an American, I'm from Kansas. It's an easy place for them to get down, come hang out with me, spend time with my friends. It's really fulfilled me in a lot of ways that I struggled in a lot of other places in the world where I looked for homes. So I feel really grateful for that. And going back to that peace of mind, just coming here and meeting with Laurent, meeting with Maurizio, the whole team, that kind of was that missing piece between me feeling like, oh, I'm not sure, is this a risk? Coming down here, meeting with everyone. I mean, I consulted with 3 separate attorneys, my financial advisor, my tax attorney, another tax attorney in Costa Rica, a Kansas tax, everyone. My whole advisory council is topping over a dozen at this point. And that also gave me the reassurance I needed to feel like this was the right decision.
Awesome. Just to add on that too, I mean, in terms of community, just like, Kat, I'm an artist as well. We rely on weird communities of people, people who are unique, people who are a little outside of the box. And Santa Teresa really is a fantastic place that attracts, I think, these types of people, creatives, outside of the box thinkers, and livers, So here we are. All right. And then we have a final question real quick. Oh, how do you feel about raising children in Santa Teresa? I know we have, the resident mom.
Hello, I'm Kristen, and Jason and I have a daughter who is going on 2 years old. And when we were talking about having kids, we talked about a lot of different things that we wanted for their education, for their upbringing, for their just what we wanted to expose them to. And some of the things that were really important to us were that we had clean air, natural spaces, and weather that was good for people to be outside in. And so that kind of knocked off, really cold places off of that list, and a lot of big cities, as well as some small towns that we've tried in other countries. So we knew we needed to find something that was more of a natural place. And when it came to education, we knew that we wanted to do something that was maybe a little bit different than what a lot of our friends back home would consider what you're supposed to do. As she grows, we want to have options. We don't have a path planned out for her of exactly when she turns this age, she's going to go to this private school and these things. We want to really maintain the flexibility to, maybe have her have different educational experiences as she grows. And I know from listening to different podcasts and just reading about families in Costa Rica that there's really a a mindset of that's kind of on the leading edge of alternative education that's growing a lot here in Costa Rica. So like one thing that I envision wanting to do with her is maybe having a jungle school experience, a small school made up of just a few kids and a teacher that has a lot of outdoor activities and project-based learning based on what the kids are actually interested in and what they want to learn. And I felt like Santa Teresa and YokoVillage specifically, because it's a larger community, that would be a great place to try and build an educational opportunity like that. And then the other thing that was important to us, of course, was safety, and we want our daughter to be bilingual. And so right now, I think she probably knows more Spanish than English since we are currently living in Mexico, but I want to continue that so that that's not lost. So moving somewhere that she can actually use those skills ongoing is important to us as well.
Anyone else want to go to jungle school? I think that sounds fun, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. We have time for a question from the audience. Any questions for our panel up here? Going once. If not, that's fine, but we will move around. Oh, okay. Yes? Thank you. Spoke too soon.
Hello? Okay. As a community like Yoko is, how would we be able to come together to build this school that you're actually thinking about? And have we already thought about it? Do we already have visions of it? Because I'm sure that, I have a 3-year-old and you have a 2-year-old. So how is this vision coming about? How can we come as a community to make this happen?
Great question. Huh?
Thanks for your question. So it is one of the things that I mentioned to Laurent when we first were getting started was like, have you thought about, a space for kids, a space for families and those kind of things? And on the tour the other day, Mauricio was showing us an area that's going to be kind of a community park, not with pavement and things like that, but with plants, benches, and I think that we could use spaces like that as well as community spaces that might be indoors when we need them to be able to have different classes or projects going on. I don't have like a very this is how it's going to look vision, and I don't think that anyone else here has, although I've talked to several people who have expressed a lot of interest in these kinds of things, I think it's the kind of thing that we really would want to come together with when we're ready to do it, to figure out what our families need at that time and what we want that to look like. So I'm kind of glad that there's no kind of cookie cutter process of what's available, because I really want to have the option for families to come together and make those decisions as we grow.
I have an addition to that. You want to go next? I have an addition. All right. So I spoke to Jeffrey about this. He's really big in education as well. He actually runs a school in a neighboring town. I can't remember what it's called. Quepos. He runs a school in Quepos. And so he was very interested in helping out with this as well and had some ideas for a location. And he wanted to bring together the residents of the community, but also the residents of the greater town and city and area together, which I thought was a really powerful thing. Because, one thing I don't want to do is have all of these people sitting in our mansions on a mountaintop while everyone else is just sitting outside the gates. I think that we need to bring up the entire community together. And having something where we can bring everyone together, I think, would be a great addition to the Yoko vision.
I just want to say that some of the most exciting conversations I had this week were about education. We're looking to start a family too, so coming to yoga, with that in mind was a huge consideration for us, and we were looking for, is this the right place? So even having you ask that question, I think this means that there is a lot of excitement in such a new area for all of us being location dependent that we will have to figure this out together, and there will be new ways coming forward. So I'm just excited that for those conversations to happen.
Awesome. And just to add to that, I mentioned before about being a teacher and being a shitty teacher. I'm actually quite passionate about education. One of the trends I'm actually starting to see is on the heels of the pandemic, a lot of parents started to have and take real responsibility for their children's education. And this has not really been such a reality as you put the kids in school, and they're gone for the day. And I think likewise with entrepreneurial mindset people of solving your own problems, bringing a community together will be nothing but good for the next generation of children, growing up together around with these different mindsets, not having to rely on schools, but to rely on responsible communities. I saw a hand back here. Yeah, Kristen?
I just want to add to the answer a little bit as well, just because of for us side of it and the stuff that we've been talking with Liran is education is one of the big pillars that we live with, and with what Cardia, our company, is founded on, is massive in the educational space. And so for what we want to desire. So just as a preempt as well, we're also in due diligence with the several educational companies that do education globally like this for people to be able to vet, like the actual family to decide if it's something that they want to go through. But with all of that, it would be that conversation with the community led, because it's not about just like, well, here's the answer. It's like, here's the options. And so I think that's something that's really important. And then just on the kids stuff, just because we've talked a lot about this in regards to some of the collaborations that Cardia is doing with Yoko and with other brands that we have, as well as the kids traveling and the just understanding of how to organize that, and the babysitters and the daycare and the food delivery services. All of those things are also part of the agenda and on the business planning that's becoming at this next phase, so that families with young kids or older kids will have those resources that have been vetted as well, because that's one of the biggest problems with traveling families or people that want to live abroad like this, is that infrastructure to make sure your kids are safe and you have vetted babysitters or you have vetted services like that. So I just wanted to add that, because I think out of the context of the ideas of what's happening to there's real practical things going into that right now as well.
That will conclude our panel, because we're going to move on real quick. But I want to thank Jason, Kristen, Connor, Aga, and Kat for joining us, answering our questions. Thank you guys so much. Cheers.